Welcome. I'm Mal Pine, and this is the seventh or eighth episode of the From the Pure Land podcast. The title of this one is Taking What's Broken and Giving What's Whole. Taking What's Broken and Giving What's Whole. A teaching on the Tibetan Buddhist meditation called tonglen. This will be a short talk followed by a guided meditation introducing you to the idea of tonglen, or if you're already familiar with it, giving you an opportunity for short practice. As usual, you can find all of my blog posts as well as the podcasts that go along with some of them. You can find all the blog posts at Melpine, Melpine, at substack.com. Taking what's broken and giving what's whole. Kintsugi is the Japanese art of repairing broken pottery with a lacquer mixed with powdered gold. And the image of those Kintsugi bowls came to mind as I was trying to think of a brief way to describe tonglen, the Tibetan Buddhist meditation practice of breathing in the suffering of others and breathing out healing. You could say we receive what's broken and return what's whole. The practice of Kintsugi, which began in 14th century Japan, demonstrates how beauty can be found in imperfection. It's linked to the philosophy of wabi-sabi, acceptance of impermanence and imperfection. It may be that wabi-sabi is related to early Japanese Buddhism and Zen. And in the blog post and possibly in the information attached to this podcast, there's a link to an essay that explores the traditions of wabi-sabi and Buddhism. Now, I know that's a lot to take in, so let's pause for a brief silent contemplation of suffering and healing, brokenness and wholeness, impermanence and beauty. The teachings of the revered 8th century Buddhist philosopher Shantideva are sometimes cited as the basis for tonglen. In what has become a classic Buddhist text, The Way of the Bodhisattva, he wrote, "Do not be downcast, but marshal all your powers. Make an effort, be the master of yourself. Practice the equality of self and other. Practice the exchange of self and other." Lojong, or mind training, those Lojong practices expanded the idea of exchanging self and other. Here's verse 7 from the 8 verses of Training the Mind, written in the 11th or 12th century. In brief, directly or indirectly, I will offer help and happiness to all my mothers, and secretly take upon myself all their hurt and suffering. Mothers here means all beings, based on the Tibetan belief that every being has been the mother of every other being over the eons. Before practicing tonglen, one should feel grounded. I'd suggest avoiding it unless you feel whole. On the other hand, if you're comfortable with your spiritual path and meditation practice, engaging in tonglen meditation in a generalized way can help you develop your compassion and loving kindness. By saying practicing it in a generalized way, I mean imagining the peace and well-being within you as a substance with shape and color. Then imagining the world suffering as another shape outside of you with a different color. You first ground yourself in the embodiment of your well-being, and then begin breathing in the external substance and breathing out the internal healthy one. At later stages of your practice, you can get more specific with tonglen. Here's where it's especially wise not to do this unless you feel grounded in equanimity. If you're an empath, especially vulnerable to absorbing others' pain, this is not the practice for you. If you are comfortable in equanimity, you can relieve others' suffering without taking on more pain. Your compassionate and loving equanimity is limitless, even if your empathy is not. I think that's worth saying again. Your compassionate and loving equanimity is limitless, even if your empathy is not. I began practicing tonglen in a generalized way to enhance my loving kindness, and I soon began applying it to individuals. I began with a man who has dementia and wants to live. I breathe in his disease and breathe out my strength. With another man with dementia, this one wanting to die, I breathe in any lingering thoughts, perceptions, emotions that might be holding him back, and breathe out my sense of acceptance of death. When I'm in the physical presence of the other person, I might add some Buddhist chants if they fit in with that person's belief system. Sometimes I do tonglen for people hundreds or thousands of miles away. I believe strongly that the interconnected web is a lot more than a metaphor. Our thoughts, our intentions, our prayers, and our actions all have an impact on things and beings near and far. For this reason, tonglen brings healing to others as it reinforces one's own loving kindness. If you'd like to try it, I won't take you any further than you want to go. I'll give you a few moments first to find a comfortable and private place to meditate. By now, I hope you're relaxed with your back reasonably straight so that air can flow in and out smoothly. Your eyes can be open or closed. You scan your body to relax any areas, any knots of tension. Focus your awareness on whatever part of your body is in contact with the ground or something else. What does it feel like? Does it have a temperature? Is there maybe a vibration in that contact? You're not judging, you're simply being aware. You don't need to label it a good temperature or a good vibration or a bad temperature or a bad vibration. You simply rest in awareness of it. Now, please turn your attention to your breath. How does the air feel as it approaches and enters your nostrils? Follow it down into your lungs and then out again. You might try exhaling through your mouth. Inhale through your nose, exhale through your mouth. Just remain there, letting your breathing come normally, letting your breathing breathe you. You don't need to do anything, just be aware. Now, see if you can find an area of compassion, clarity, and wisdom within yourself. It's not really in any one place, it's limitless, but it might feel centered in your heart. That's, that's a good place to rest your awareness. Rest your awareness in your heart, in the center of this vast awareness. Imagine before you a symbol of love, calm, and strength. The image could be in a human or other form. It's whatever or whoever represents love, calm, and strength for you. Imagine that form before you, glowing with light, like the sun's light. And imagine it dissolving into you. It might come in through the top of your head. It might come in through your abdomen. It might come in with your breath. Once that warm light is within you, you breathe in and you feel it there. It's an embodiment of love, calm, and strength, glowing warmly within you. Now you might imagine before you a mass of suffering in a dark color, maybe gray. You feel as though the yellow glow within you is limitless. So you can exhale its warmth, or some of its warmth, and some of its light into the dark cloud before you. And inhale that dark suffering, which becomes absorbed in the sun-like yellow color within. And you continue like this for a while. Breathing out your warm compassion, breathing in the pain of others. You can continue to inhale the world's suffering and exhale a healing light. Or if you are feeling stable and whole, you might imagine a loved one or perhaps a group that's suffering. Imagine that person or group in front of you. Inhale the suffering and exhale the healing light. And you don't feel diminished as you exhale that healing light. Exchanging your loving equanimity for the suffering of others benefits both the sender and receiver. Your equanimity enables you to take on that suffering and grow from the experience. Feel free to remain in tonglen exchange with one person or a group of people or the world's general suffering, as long as it's comfortable, until you hear the bell ring 3 times. We'll close with the dedication prayer. This is from the Dharmata Foundation. By the power of this compassionate practice, may suffering be transformed into peace. May the hearts of all beings be open, and their wisdom radiate from within.